What up? It's Bones. And this one, let's go ahead and do a collection update video. Now, I do these every couple of months just to show off some of the stuff that I've picked up online or I found in the wild or talk about any news on the DC action figure scene. Now, nothing really spectacular that I picked up, but I do have a couple of interesting things. But of course, as always, to start off, let's do McFarlane News. Now, of course, the biggest thing from McFarlane right now is the release of the Flash movie figures. Now, for me, these are really hit and miss. I mean, there's some things that I don't really care about, and there's other things that, obviously everybody cares about. Now, if you go right now on the McFarlane website, he has all the figures, and he even has like a huge bundle, which will probably be around, I think, like $500, where you get everything that he's releasing from this wave of figures for the Flash movie. Now, there were actually some high spots in this, but then there were some low spots as well, which was really like some letdowns that I was like, no. And there's also some controversial stuff, of course, right? I did notice that if you go to the website, already sold out is, of course, the '89 Batmobile and the Michael Keaton Batman with the mask. So those are sold out on McFarlane's website. Now, these are standard releases, so that basically means that eventually they will hit most of the retailers, if not all. So eventually everybody will have a chance to get the Batmobile and the Michael Keaton Batman. So that really wasn't a big priority for me from this wave. The main thing that interested me or that I thought was like going to be more important was, of course, the Batwing. Now, this is pretty polarizing because honestly, the first thing I thought when I saw it was that it was a little bit to me it was just a little bit overpriced. I mean, it was right on that line, where any little difference could have made me not order it or order it. It just was like riding the fence right down the middle. And in all honesty, I had actually been anticipating this. So for almost, I'd say, more than a year, I was thinking in the back of my head, one day McFarlane's going to drop something that's going to be like a pricey item. So you're looking at least $300. So I kind of already had that, like, stored away where it wasn't going to be a big deal. But I know right now, like the way everything's going, a lot of people are strapped for cash and hard times, but we will persevere. I have absolutely no problem with anybody who can't afford that right now to not even think of purchasing it. Now, I do think that if it would have been 150 or even 200, maybe 180, I think that the Batwing right now would be sold out. So that extra, like, 50, $75 actually kind of hurt it. But the more I thought about it, the more I decided why I did decide to go ahead and order that Batwing. Now, the final decision came down to when I saw the stand that actually comes with the Batwing. It is actually a Batman, traditional yellow symbol stand. And I thought that was really smart because that means that it could represent, even like the '89 Batman. So if they would have put it out with like a Flash movie stand, I think I kind of, I would have been really hard pressed to order it. In all honesty, that would have been one point against it at least. And the other thing that made a big difference was I saw images like of the actual 7-inch Keaton figure inside the Batwing. And when you see that image, it really tells you like how big the Batwing's gonna be. And I know they have like a graph, it shows like a person, holding it, and it's like wider than the person. But when you look at the image of the figure inside the canopy, it just looks like a little tiny, like a 4-inch figure, like inside of a big, crevice. And that's a big contrast to when they showed the figure inside of the Batmobile, where he actually looks kind of big compared to the canopy. You could almost say even it looks more like a little sled car or something. And of course, this was also done for a reason, because when you put figures in retail space, you actually only have a certain size that you could make it. And that would be one reason why McFarlane decided to like kind of like scale it that size, which is not necessarily scaled in with the 7-inch figures. It's more like a little bit streamlined and a little bit smaller. You can put one figure in there and he does look kind of big in there. And of course, it's like, not the greatest design or the greatest execution, but for what it is, for a $60 vehicle, of course, that is why it has sold out everywhere. And that is because people that really are just looking to buy a Batmobile figure, they don't care of the scale. They're not really concentrated on how the canopy is. They just want that figure, to go up as a display piece, or I don't know, for a gift or whatever. But they're not so concentrated on what collectors are usually really concentrated on, which is every little detail, and if it sits two figures or only one, or how the canopy will, how it slides. And you have to understand that the common consumer just really doesn't care about those things. So that just goes to show you why that vehicle is pretty much sold out for now until they actually start hitting the stores. And then that turns us back to the Batwing. Now, since the price is a little bit more elevated, people are more like, like, I don't know if I really want to put down the money. Now, I have heard from both sides. I have heard other guys that are like, yeah, I bought it, I ordered it right away. And then you have other people that are like, I'm not ordering that, it's too overpriced. Hopefully they put it on sale later. And I'm like, gold labels don't usually go on sale, and if they do, they like, sell out faster than you can blink an eye. So I wouldn't really, bet all my money that Batwing's gonna go on sale. And let's just say that it does go on sale at one point, then I might end up having two, because I will, if it's like 150 or something like that out of the blue, I might end up just picking up another one to have in box for my DC Multiverse in box collection. Now, this is really hard to do, but if you know me, that is how I collect this line. I always have one figure opened and then one in package, and then sometimes I'll even go ahead and buy a third or a fourth or a fifth or a sixth. It just depends if I'm doing customs or how much I like the figure, or if I have any ideas to use it, for other things. So let's go ahead and talk about the rest of the wave, which, like I said, I wasn't really too interested. Now, I do want the Bat Cycle with the Batfleck figure. That's going to be pretty nice, a nice little setup. And as I said before, all of the other figures and vehicles are probably not going to be hard to come by if you just wait until they actually hit retailers. Now, the Flash figures, I'm not really a big fan of. Of course, I will buy some to have, but it's not like a major thing that I have to have right away. The Supergirl figure was kind of a big letdown for me. I had a lot of hopes that it would be really like appealing to the eye and something that I really wanted. And when I see the images, it just kind of a letdown. But I will be open to buying one and checking it out in hand and seeing, how it looks in hand. But doesn't look too good, but it is what it is. Now, there is also other things like statues, which I'm not, too interested in. I think you have a Dark Flash figure as well that doesn't doesn't look too good either. But I mean, that it is from the movie concept, so that's something you have to have in mind. But all in all, it was an interesting wave, and people are having a lot of fun, talking about the Batmobile and the Batwing and all that stuff. So that's pretty interesting, because of course that brings attention to the line. Now, that brings me to the final reason why I did go ahead and order the Batwing. And in all honesty, this is because I want to support the line. Now, if I could support the line, get the Batwing, and McFarlane decides to make more vehicles like the Space Hog for Lobo, you never know, all kinds of things. We're still missing that Batmobile kind of plane thing from Batman Beyond, which was leaked, but we never received it or saw images of it. And maybe this is what's going to push that a little bit faster into production, which would be awesome. So I just want to support the line, even if it means kind of taking a hit, but I'm willing to do that to see more vehicles come out and have more opportunities to grow the line. So that's another reason why I went ahead and ordered it. Now, right now on the McFarlane website, they do have that. It's like a display thing with like 24 figures. I think one was like the gold labels with the Kyle Rayner and the Deathstroke Defiant, and that's also going for 250. Now, of course, the reason that didn't sell out is because it's just something that a regular collector's not gonna buy. A whole case of the same figures to have to reorder, like to have to flip them again. It's just not something too ideal for like standard collectors. But instead of buying that, you could go ahead and buy the Batwing, which is gonna be awesome in my opinion. So it is rather cool and interesting to talk about, and you have been seeing a lot of news about it, so that is always awesome. Now let's go ahead and get into the things that I picked up. First of all, we do what I found in the wild, and these are all pickups from Walmart that I found at random Walmarts, throughout my city. And first off, I did find another Duke Thomas, but the more comic version, the Signal. And then I found, actually there was tons of these Duke Thomas from the Dark Knights. Now, there was a bunch of these, and I only saw one of these. Now, I do have this one open because I reviewed it, but I always have to have one for my unopened collection. So since I saw them at Walmart, together, I just went ahead and picked them up at the same time. No biggie, but pretty cool. Now this one's pretty interesting. I did find this at Walmart. I think I even have a clip where I found it. And it was the first time that I saw the standard Mr. Freeze inside the Walmart. So pretty interesting. You never know what you'll find when you are out there hunting in the wild. So that's pretty much why I try and do it as much as I can. It does get a little bit redundant, but when you do find stuff, it is always pretty cool. So glad to add this to my mint in box collection because of course I already reviewed that figure. Now I also saw a lot of these Shazam figures, so I went ahead and picked one up because of course I did review this one. So I just picked this one up for my mint in box collection. I also found another Ghostmaker, which is another figure that I reviewed a long time ago, and I just happened to come across them at Walmart, so I bought them. Now this one's actually going online for like cheaper. I think if you look around you could get it for like 15 or maybe even less, but for the convenience of it that I just saw it there in hand, just went ahead and picked it up. The Ghostmaker. Now these last two I actually ordered, so I did get one of these gold label Kyle Rayner Blue Lanterns from McFarlane. I will be reviewing this one, so that's going to be awesome. But actually on eBay, I actually ordered this gold label, like 90s costume Kyle Rayner. Now, this one was pretty pricey for a while, but I think I bought it for $31. So that was pretty nice. It was a sweet price. And of course, this is going to be for my unopened collection. Then I will be reviewing this one, but actually when I ordered the Batwing, I actually ordered the bundle that has I think this figure and then like 5 other figures. It was like $100. I did use a code, so it wasn't much more than that, but I got 6 figures for about $100. So you do the math. That's a pretty good deal if you're looking at it figure by figure. And since I'll be getting another one of these to have in the mint in box collection, I'll actually be reviewing this one. So all in all, it was a pretty cool deal. I'll be waiting for those figures to come in. Now let's go ahead and go back to the older collections. Now I actually do have these in box, but I've never opened them, and I don't have like an unopened version. And I've actually been hunting for this one for a long time. and I just never pulled the trigger on it because I think it was just too much. Now I did get this. I think it was maybe 15 bucks, something like that. But this is the Mattel Multiverse, like die-cast metal Batman. I'm not sure if it's from Injustice. It might be. And I do have the Superman unopened. Now I do have both of these figures in box, but they are in storage. And just to have them, and I kind of want to make like a little display. And they're actually like really underestimated figures. They're really nice. They have a lot of cool detail. Plus the metal makes them really heavy. The only bad part would be, of course, the limited articulation on them. But if you want them just for display, then they're pretty nice. But pretty cool to finally get this Batman unopened so that I could check them out. Pretty awesome. That actually took me a long time to finally get those two figures. I've always been hunting for this Superboy, and I just always saw him for like too much, and I wasn't really wanting to pay 40 bucks for him or more. And for some reason, he just popped up. I think it was 17 bucks. He just popped up on eBay, and I just jumped on him. And I'm not even sure what kind of version of Superboy this is, but I know it's a DC Direct figure. But he's really nice. He has a pretty unique costume, a lot of cool sculpted details. And like DC Direct, I always say it, I never was a big collector of DC Direct, but now, this time, I can actually appreciate like certain versions of characters or certain figures that they actually did. So every once in a while I do like to pick up a little bit of DC Direct. So it's an awesome Superboy figure. I might end up learning more about him, but right now I don't know too much, but pretty cool for the collection. And then I actually scored this. It was not too much. It was, I think, 25 bucks. It might have been 30, like 28. I think it was 28 bucks. And I won them on an auction, and I was pretty interested to check him out because I know he's missing a part. Now, of course, this is, what is it? Called the Rookie, right? This is the Rookie, but this is the DC Direct version. And he's actually missing, there's like a part that sits in here that has Batman Gordon's head or something like that. And then he does have his like helmet. But I do have a way that I might be able to like fix this. But I might show it like in a custom video later. But I am going to get him a head in here. And then where he could like, connect the helmet. But of course this matches up with this. I've had this figure sitting here for like months. And I don't know why, just like looking at him, I just like his design and the colors, and I don't know what it is about it. That Capullo like head sculpt, just really, I really enjoy it, and I just have him sitting here just for like inspiration, or every once in a while I'll move him around. But yeah, this kind of goes with this, but this version of Batman is actually supposed to be inside of here. But I do have a plan where I might be able to like customize it so that I could put the helmet, and when you take off the helmet, there will be a Batman, Capullo version inside there. But it was just something I got like on a whim. Now it's actually pretty nice, like the detail and the sculpt and the paint and all that. And of course, this is your what was it, designer series from DC Direct for Capullo. Now the final figure that I picked up is going to kind of coincide with these, and that is going to be, I picked up this what is it, Year Zero Batman. Now I wanted one of these loose so that I could put them with my DC Direct Batman figures, but I noticed that when this one was on auction, if I could get them for 20 bucks, it would have been the same as getting one loose. But this one actually has like his batarangs and the his like grapnel gun or whatever. So I wanted to go ahead and pick him up in box so he could have all of his parts, and I could go ahead and open him up and add him to my little DC Direct Batman collection. So that was pretty cool, and I think I picked him up for 20 bucks plus shipping, so it wasn't too bad. But that's pretty much it. That's all the stuff I got for right now. But pretty interesting time we're going into with McFarlane and the DC Multiverse. You guys keep hunting out there, keep collecting, keep customizing, and I will see you on the next one.
They used to call me Crazy Joe, but now they can call me Batman.